You're watching Candid Talk with Tahir Gora at Tech TV. Today I'm joined with me MPP-elect Deepak Anand, who represents Malton, Mississauga riding, the very place where we are situated. Welcome, Deepak ji.
Thank you so much, Tahir bhai. It's always a pleasure coming back to Tag TV, and thank you so much for watching us. What a wonderful studio you have, by the way. I was thinking about my life and I see the planes taking off from here. So I hope your studio takes off the same way and flies very high in future.
Absolutely. And this studio, as I said earlier, this studio is in your writing.
Absolutely.
So what are your anticipation about your writing?
Well, I am absolutely blessed to be here, and I'm absolutely blessed to be MPP elect for Mississauga-Malton, as you rightly said. It's such a wonderful riding. If you look at some people are jealous of this too.
Absolutely. Me too.
You too, right?
But me too does not mean that. Me too.
So this is a wonderful riding. Most of the ridings, if you look in the suburban area, they're about 48 kilometers square. Ours is 96 kilometers square.
My God.
So we got one free riding to serve compared to the others. And we have Greater Toronto Airport Authority, GTA, commercial, industrial area. A lot of dealerships are here. We're talking about the big corporations. So about 15 Fortune 500 companies have their headquarters in our riding. So it's an amazing riding. Maximum number of highways, centrally located. So these are the great things that our riding has. Although not everything is rosy, not everything is great. Our riding actually has high youth ratio. So we have about 25–26% youth in our riding. But within youth, the unemployment rate is very high. So it has got really big unemployment rate. It's about 26%, 25% unemployment rate among youth. 19% youth is absolutely unengaged. So on one side, yes, it's a great riding. We have a young riding. On the other side, we have a challenges. Traffic is a challenge. Right. We have GO Station. That's, if you look at GO Station, Malton GO Station, big challenges about the parking, big challenges about finding a spot, especially in the rush hour. When you're stressed of, you see a train coming, and you're still fighting for a parking spot. That's a tough time. So great riding, but there's a lot of gaps, a lot of opportunities, a lot of work to be done.
As you said, your riding is almost double the size of regular riding. Right. And you would be facing lots of challenges. One thing I can see being situated in Malton, right, that this riding has been ignored in the past. Do you see that reality or not?
I think it's a bit of overstatement to say it has been ignored.
Right.
What I can say is that I think it has not been treated fairly.
Right.
We got most of the great leaders actually came from Malton, and yes, there are opportunities. Yes, there are problems, and I think that's where I feel that every place has problems. So is with Mississauga-Malton, but every problem actually gives you an opportunity to solve the problem and work with it. So I think I'm very committed. I am absolutely committed that this ignorance, the word, the way you said, this is something which we're going to take away. When we talk about when I was doing the door knocking, a lot of people actually said, most of the elected candidates are seen before the election. They're usually disappeared. And that's something which we're going to change it. To the extent that what we did was, the day I won the election, and we had a great victory party, we had a great time. We slept way too late, okay? But then I still made sure next day, Aruna and I went to Westwood Mall to say thank you.
Wonderful.
And that was a token, that was the reason we went there, not to show that, okay, we still have energy left, so we want to use it up. No, we were really tired, but we wanted to show, that was a token of appreciation that we are not going to disappear. We're going to be, this is the family who chose us, this is the family who gave us this mandate, and this is the family we're going to stay with and work with. And so one issue, yes, we do understand that this is a concern, but we want to match that concern. So.
You said very well, and I'm not overstating you over here. I remember I'm here for the past 4 years. Honestly, just a couple months ago, I learned who was the MPP here. I didn't know about my MPP in this area until
that's true. Well, that's funny. Sometime I'll go for a door knocking. People will say, "I have never seen him," and then I'll have to tell them, "No, it's Mrs. Amrit Marriott."
Right.
So yeah, I heard that as well. But
no, she's a nice lady,
yeah, right.
but she's probably not in touch with the writing people, at least in my experience.
Well, I think as you rightly said, I mean, this is something which we see as an issue, and we need to resolve the issues.
Right.
Absolutely.
As I go to downtown Toronto, and GO station is just a couple blocks away from me.
Right.
When I drive there, I really can't find parking. Now I decided to walk there. I'm lucky that I'm not that far from the GO station, but there is really an issue at the GO station. So would it come to your jurisdiction or municipal jurisdiction?
Well, GO, as you know, is a provincial.
Right.
But by the way, if you're walking to GO station, that's actually a good thing. Now you're going to be healthy. So please don't tell me that we should not solve the problem, because if you solve the problem, that means you're not going to walk. That's not right.
I will definitely walk.
You will still walk. No, but it's on a serious note. Yes, it is definitely an issue. I mean, I was actually there this morning through Twitter. I mean, we got such a wonderful tools now. So through Twitter, somebody tweeted that there is a problem with the GO station, and I am thankful to that gentleman. So I said, rather than having this Twitter conversation, let me go and have the physical first-hand experience. I actually went to Malton GO station this morning, and I was surprised to see some of the cars are actually parked in non-designated areas. As you know, some of the high-end, fancy, expensive cars were parked there, and somebody leaving their car right in the middle of the lane. And I can understand the stress he was going through at the time. He is watching his train coming, and he has no parking, and he doesn't see a parking. So what choices he or she has it? So definitely it's a big issue. I mean, I'm more concerned about the stresses people have at that time. Even when I went at a time when it was not rush hour, it took me almost 5-6 minutes to find one parking spot. To me, that's a wastage. There's a lack of efficiency. Not just an issue of not having a parking. The other issue is that it takes time to find the parking. And we live in 21st century.
Right.
And being an engineer, educated as an engineer, I felt, that something needs to be done. So these are the issues, and absolutely, and I am in touch with the local councillor as well. I'm actually meeting her soon, and these are the things which will be, I don't know the solution yet, but definitely in the coming days we will be coming up with the solution, and definitely we will be working on the solution, and hopefully next time when we meet, I'll come with the blueprint. I mean, I cannot promise there will be a solution by that time, but hopefully we'll have a blueprint how we're going to solve it.
We'll appreciate that blueprint since you belong to Blue Party now. And you just mentioned about the high rate of unemployment among youths in Malton.
That's right.
So what are the plans of PC Party?
PC Party is absolutely committed. If you look at the platform, we want to bring in high-paying jobs to the province. We want to concentrate on how we make place for the businesses to come and grow, either by lowering the taxes or lowering the hydro rate, lower the gas prices, reducing the red tapeism. So we want to nurture the environment for the business, and when the businesses are going to come, there is absolutely going to be opportunities for everyone. Talking about Malton in specific, I want to touch actually two things about the youth. One is the unengaged youth. What we found out, there's a lot of youth which is not having enough facilities to go to. Talking about the sports. If you look at my writing, it's very interesting writing. It has the other side of Mississauga, which is Heartland and Eglinton Highway 10 area, Derry and Mavis area. And then you have a Malton on this side. If you look at the other side, we have Hershey Center. We have the Courtney Park Library. It has great, strong presence of sports facilities.
Right.
But when you come to Malton, you see the lack of sports facilities as well. So I think I firmly believe the lack of interest from the youth is because there is no facilities. There's not enough facilities. There's not enough opportunities. There's not enough infrastructure, resources there available. So that's something which I am committed, is that again, I believe there is a problem. And I'm not saying that we're going to bring in the solution overnight, but I'm definitely committed that we need to find a solution. And I believe there is a need for some kind of sports facility or infrastructure or resource in Malton, and that's something which I'm committed as well. Going back to your question about the employment, sometimes I've noticed, because the youth is unengaged, they don't even know about the opportunities. So this is how we're going to handle that. We're going to, within our office, if you remember, our campaign was a youth-led campaign. To the extent that when we were trying to build our team, even the campaign manager was the president of Ontario Youth. And I remember once I was talking to the whole team, and they said, does he have an experience as a campaign manager? I said, no, this is probably his first time as a full campaign manager. So they said, how can we trust him? How can we allow him to do it? And I said, by the way, this is my first time too. If you can have a trust in me, if you think I can do it as a first timer, why cannot our campaign manager? I mean, of course, there is going to be learning, and that's where you guys are with the experience.
Right.
I have to learn, he has to learn, and I am pretty sure with both, with you guys present with the experience, we'll learn from you. And by the grace of God, we both ran first time, we both won first time. So, since we have the benefit, we've seen the benefit of engaging youth. So we are committed that we're going to have a youth council in our office, and there will be a youth coordinator. And this is how we're going to deal, is that we're going to build a database of youth. A database wherein we have not just their email address and phone, but we will have what interests them. See, the problem most of the time with the youth not being engaged is, if you push them, force them to do what you want them to do, they're disengaged. When you give them what they want, what they enjoy, they'll be engaged. So we're going to build a database where we're going to go back to the youth and ask them what exactly is their interest. We'll get their email addresses, we'll get their phone number, but we're not just going to leave it there.
Right.
We'll attach their parents' email or phone number to this database. So it's like a package. And then we're going to find out if there are jobs, if there are opportunities matching our database. So one email will go to youth, the other one will actually go to the parent. The reason we want to do it is because youth is busy in her homework or other activities. You know, we are snowplow parents. We're very concerned parents, all of us.
Right.
So the parents pitch in and make sure the youth applies or does their piece and part, if just in case they're busy. So these kind of things we want to advance. These are the tools we want to use it. Once they'll apply, we will, of course, there will be a mentorship. They will apply, and we're not just going to leave it right there. So once they apply, by the grace, if they get selected, great. If there is an issue, they don't get selected, we're not just going to leave it there. We're actually going to have a feedback loop. With their consent, we're going to go back to the employer. We ask them what was the reason. Of course, there was a reason, this was the reason, and what gets measured gets done. We fill up those gaps going forward when they go next time. So we have this check and balance. By having this check and balance, there will be a stage, there will be a time when you will see the physical differences, and from not getting to getting. And I personally think our youth is very intelligent and smart.
Yeah, you're right.
Once they are in, they're actually going to push all their friends and family and who are qualified, educated and smart. Yeah.
Good initiative. And coming back to the size of your city, I'm using city because Malton happened to be a separate entity.
It's a village.
In the
Malton
past.
is a great village.
You know, now we cannot call it a village. It's a big city.
Right.
And the size itself we know it's almost double the size of any regular riding.
Right.
And it's a very multicultural,
Very diverse.
Riding.
Yeah.
Again, I would call it a city because I'm based here.
Right.
And I feel it a city bounded on the south by Toronto Pearson Airport,
Right.
east Toronto, north Brampton, and west rest of the Mississauga.
Right.
So don't you feel that you are not just part of Mississauga, you are dealing a separate city?
Well, I think I would put it this way.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. When you're in Malton, and then
That's
all
the
of a
kind of
sudden,
feeling when you're in Malton.
well, the difference is because the physically boundary itself,
Right, right,
they're too distant.
right.
I mean, when you're neighbors, you're just next to each other. All you have to do is come out of your house and knock your door
Right,
next door.
yeah.
With Malton, it is away from the rest of the city,
Right.
right? Because it's away from the rest of the city, so it's physically very different
Yeah.
and seems very distant.
And also bounded with Toronto
Right.
and Brampton.
Yes. So it's very distant, I would say. So a lot of time, a lot of people have these issues. They'll say, if you go to Malton, you're ignoring Mississauga side. I don't want to call it, this is also Mississauga, but let's call Mississauga, Malton as a Malton
Yes.
village of Mississauga.
Yeah.
So when you're in Malton, you're away from the rest of the riding or Mississauga.
Yeah.
And so when you go to Mississauga side of Mississauga, then you're away from Malton. So obvious complaint always being, since Square One is in the other side of Mississauga, so Malton gets ignored. But if I'm going to concentrate too much in Malton, then that side of Mississauga is going to get ignored. So what we did to solve this issue was, we took the whole riding and on the map, on the paper itself,
Right.
we said, let's divide the riding. We're not dividing it physically, but we on a paper, let's put it this way, virtually. So let's divide the riding. Initially I was thinking about 10, but then I found if I'm going to have that, all of a sudden it's going to be too much to handle. So for the pilot, what we're trying to do is we divide the riding into 5 parts. So the Malton, which is about 40%, so we're going to divide that into 2 parts, east and west. And the other side, we're going to divide the riding into 3 parts. So one is the L5 area, the other is L4Z area, the third one is going to be L5S and L5V. More like the way the demographics and the way they are arranged by the postal code. So we're going to divide this riding in 5 pieces, and it is our commitment that how we're going to engage with the community or the people is going to be, rather than them coming to us, we want to go to them. So we're going to have one town hall meeting every month for 10 months a year. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break in December, which is Christmas, holiday times. And we're going to take a break in July, which is again holiday, summer holidays for the kids. So, but other those 2 months, 10 months, every month we're going to have a one town hall meeting. First is going to be in Malton, say east, and the second one is going to be in L4Z area, and the second month is going to be Malton west, and then, so we're going to switch between the 2. And we're going to have every month a town hall meeting. So we're going to have 2 things. One, because we're switching between the 2, we're engaging with both. Plus, since we're going every month, so this disengagement is removed. So hopefully by the time we come back, we'll have a couple of meetings. We will actually come with a lot of issues that we heard from our constituents, and we will be, and I want to say one thing. I believe all of us, it's each one of us responsible to find the solution. It is not your responsibility, it's not my responsibility, it's not the responsibility of the constituent. Each stakeholder is responsible to work together and find the issues and solve those issues together. And there are 3 major stakeholders. 1, elected candidates and government. 2, the constituents, the end users. And 3rd is the media. Media has a great big role into it, because you can outreach, you can push the information out. So if all these 3 partners work together, we can solve almost every issue in the world.
Good to know, and your passion is very clear, and you are a very brilliant MPP elect for Mississauga-Malton riding. So in the end, we would like to touch about landslide victory of PC party. What was the secret behind?
I think the secret was simple. People wanted people wanted somebody who's responsible, somebody who can take, the debt was a big issue. So people wanted somebody, some government who was accountable. Affordability was a big issue. People wanted somebody who's, as our leader said, for the people. A government who's for the people, who can take care of the issues, which is affordability, put the money back into the people, so they are the owners of that money. They can decide how they want to use that money. I think what at the end I would say, it is the power of the democracy. It is the power of the people. That was the reason of the victory of PC party. And if I have to give somebody a credit, I would give the credit to people, because they spoke up. And I would like to give the credit to our leader, Doug Ford, who was very precise, to the point in delivering the message. Absolutely, nothing can be done without volunteers, amazing volunteers, amazing ground force. And all these put together, I think that was the reason for the landslide victory.
Absolutely, I agree. And I can see that reason behind. This is your own studio, and because it's based on your writing,
right? We
will be having you over and over, and we'll be grilling you.
And make sure I'm accountable.
Absolutely, that's what I was saying, that we'll be grilling you as well.
Okay.
But today we congratulate you, we welcome you, and we hope that you would bring a change in Malton. Anything I'm missing in our conversation today?
Well, I think you, as always, you're a great host. I just want to take the opportunity to thank you as media, and I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's watching this. You have spoken up, you've given us the responsibility, and I hope and I believe that we will live up to the expectation, and absolutely, please keep us accountable. I always said that before election also, and I'm saying that one more time. This is not about a constituent, it is not about the elected candidates, it is about a partnership. I firmly believe, as a stakeholder, we are partners, and we should, there will be many times we will accuse each other probably that things are not going as we expect it to be, but let's be partners and work together. And nothing can be, there's nothing that cannot be solved, but we can always solve it if we work together as a partner. So again, thank you so much, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Deepak, and wish you all the best, and wish all the best for our writing.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, viewers, for watching Candid Talk with Tahir Gora at TAG TV.